Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the new book releases for September 2023 that I am most anticipating. So this doesn't necessarily mean that I will be reading all of these books in September 2023 or that I'm ever going to read them, but these are the ones that sound most exciting for me, and I think also they'll be really exciting for you guys as well. I try to do these videos every single month. Please like and subscribe if you like these videos because it really helps my channel and it shows me that you are interested. Please do let me know if you enjoy them. Normally I tend to do these videos in order of what I'm most anticipating and then go up from there, or down rather. But today I think what I'm going to do is talk about the books in order of least popular to most popular. So we've got the most popular releases at the end of the video. Hopefully this keeps you guys engaged and excited. Okay, so first of all we have a book called Dreambound. This one is an adult sci-fi fantasy book. This is about a father who is trying to find his daughter who seems to have gone missing in the pages of her favourite fantasy book series. I'm probably not going to read this one, I'm going to be honest, unless it gets a lot of good reviews, but currently the average rating on Goodreads is 4.11, so that's not too bad, and I think as a reader this does sound quite fun. So if it does get a lot more hype, then I might be persuaded to pick it up. I think the premise sounds very interesting. Then we have One Blood. This one is adult historical fiction. It says here that it's Homegoing meets The Mothers, where three women are tied together by blood, love and family secrets. I really love Homegoing. It's one of my all-time favourite books. I've read it a few times now and I've given it 5 stars every single time. I honestly adore it, so if this is anything like Homegoing then I'm probably going to love it. So this is one I think I will be picking up sometime soon. With Regrets is a sci-fi horror book. This one is apparently likened to Bird Box, which is a book that I really enjoy because of the concept. I think the idea of not being able to see the horrors is very, very interesting. It says here that it's a suburban drama wrapped in a 24-hour survival story at the end of the world. There are 7 courses, 7 guests and 24 hours that will obliterate everything. I think this one sounds quite good. There's also The Hexologist. This one is, I think, fantasy historical fiction by the looks of it. It's also the first part of a new series, which I always enjoy starting. I think this is also some sort of mystery. The main group in this series is trying to solve a magical mystery of some sort. I think this one sounds very intriguing. The Xmas Holidays. This one is set in Scotland. It's a romance book. I'm probably not going to read this one in September, but I do want to read it closer to Christmas. This one is set in the Scottish Highlands, and I think the main character has to work with her ex. It says here that Maya walks in to find the last person she wants to see, Sam, the boy who broke her heart 8 years ago, and he's serving drinks naked. This sounds hilarious, and I think it will be a good one to read around the Christmas holidays. How to Find a Missing Girl sounds like a very good YA thriller book. It says that this is for fans of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and Veronica Mars, both of which I am. It says that this one follows a detective who is trying to seek the truth behind a bunch of missing girls in a small Louisianan town. It says here that a year ago, beloved cheerleader Stella Blackthorne vanished without a trace. Devastated, her younger sister Iris launched her own investigation, but all she managed to do was scare off the police's only lead. I think this one does sound quite good, so I'm hoping to pick this one up soonish. The House Beyond the Dunes. I mentioned this one in my September TBR. I do have a copy from NetGalley. This is another thriller book, this time adult. All I know about this one is it's about a woman who seems to have repressed memories, and she goes back to her hometown or the place where everything happened that caused her some trauma, and then the memories start coming back. The Museum of Failures. This is a literary fiction book set in India. It's about a main character who was originally living in India and then moved to the US, and now he's gone back to India to see his elderly mother. One day while he's in his mother's apartment, he comes across a photo which demands an explanation. That's all I know. I think this sounds really good. I really enjoy books set in India, so anything around that area is very intriguing to me. Fall of Ruin and Wrath is a new book by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is part 1 of the Awakening series. I don't know where this falls in her other fantasy romance series. She releases so many books and they're always huge, so I don't know how she does this. Honestly, I do know some drama surrounding her, but let's not get into that. Let's keep this simple. So this is a fantasy series. It says that long ago the world was destroyed by gods, only 9 cities were spared. Each city is now ruled by a guardian, royalty who will feed on mortal pleasure. So that doesn't tell me anything about the main characters, but honestly, none of her books do anyway. Red Rabbit, this one is a historical Western horror book, I think. I think the main character is wanted for witchcraft and she is being chased across the Wild West by cowboys who are being paid to track her down. I've not heard much about this one. It's being published by Tor Nightfire, so I'm hoping it's going to be good. This may be a good one to read around Halloween. The Six, this one is non-fiction. It's about the first 6 female astronauts in the United States. All You Have to Do Is Cool. This one is is historical fiction. It's based on a true story. It's based around the Jane Collective, which I believe is a counselling service for women who may need or want an abortion in, I think, Chicago. It was in operation in, I think, the 60s and 70s as like an underground service. So I think this one sounds really good. It's not something that I know loads about, so I'd be very interested in reading this one and learning more. Champion of Fate by Kendare Blake. This is the start of a new YA fantasy series by her. I think this one is focused around mythical female warriors, so I'm very interested in reading this one. A Study in Drowning. All I know about this one is that the main character is interested in fairy tales and she has dreams or visions about a fairy king. So I imagine it's about fae and such. I'm not hugely interested in this one, but I might give it a go if I feel like it. I know that this author is quite popular. Herc, this one is about Hercules. I think that says enough. Reykjavik, this is a crime fiction book. It's translated from Icelandic into English. I've read another book by this author and I did enjoy it. I'm curious to see where he goes with this one because I feel like he was covering a lot of stuff in his previous crime series. It says here that it's set in 1956 initially. It's set on a small island just off the coast of Reykjavik. In early August, a girl disappears. 30 years later, Reykjavik is celebrating its 200th year anniversary, and then a journalist starts investigating what happened to that missing girl. So this one does sound quite good, and I know that I like this author's writing or his translations. I think this one is translated by someone else, not the same person who translated the previous book I read. There is also The Square of Sevens. This one is another historical fantasy kind of book. It's set in Cornwall in the 1700s, and this is particularly exciting for me because I'm going to Cornwall in September. As you are watching this, I am probably in Cornwall right now. So this is the story of an orphaned fortune teller who is searching for her long dead mother, or searching for answers about her long dead mother. Obviously her mother is dead, so she's not really searching for her. And Then She Fell. This one is an adult thriller horror book, I think. I put this one on the list because this is by one of the authors of This Place, which is a comic book, graphic novel, short story collection by Indigenous Canadian authors. And I'm not sure which one she wrote. I need to look that up, but I really enjoyed that anthology, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think this is about an Indigenous woman who moves into a white neighbourhood and she feels like the imposter. It says here that she finds herself losing bits of time and hearing voices she can't explain, so this does sound really intriguing. I'm looking forward to picking this one up. The Death I Gave Him. This one is a sci-fi retelling of Hamlet, and the author has turned it into a locked room thriller. I don't really read the synopses for thrillers, so I don't really know much about this one, but I'm probably going to give it a go at some point. This Is How We End Things. This is another one that I mentioned in my September TBR, and again, I don't really know much about this one because it is an adult thriller book and I don't really want to read the synopsis. I think this is something to do with psychology and experiments on students. Enchanted to Meet You by Meg Cabot. I don't know anything about this one, but I really enjoy Meg Cabot's writing generally. I've been reading through the Princess Diaries series this past year, and this I think is a witchy rom-com. So that's all I really need to know, and that's probably all I really need to tell you. The Pomegranate Gates. This is actually one that I discovered fairly recently when I was looking for sci-fi fantasy books about portals. So this is the first book in the Mirror Realm cycle, which implies that there are mirror realms or parallel universes or something. So I think this one is inspired by the Inquisition era, and the main character I believe is Jewish, and she and her family are told to leave the country if they won't convert. I'm not sure what else happens, just that there are two realms and the main character gets involved in both. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one, even though I've not really heard much about it. The September House is another debut book. This one is an adult paranormal horror book. I think this is about a main character who moves into her dream home with her husband, and it's probably haunted. I don't know. The house on the cover looks creepy, and I'm looking forward to reading this one, probably nearer to Halloween. Salthouse Place. This is a thriller mystery adult book. I think in this one the main character joins a cult, so it's a cult mystery sort of thing. The Golden Gate. This is another one that I mentioned on my September TBR. This is set in 1944, at least initially, and it's about a detective who is investigating some sort of case. I don't really know what happens in this. It's like a thriller mystery sort of thing, so I'm not going to read the synopsis, but I really like the cover and I'm looking forward to reading this one. The Wake Up Call by Beth O'Leary. I am loving Beth O'Leary's books at the moment. They're always kind of contemporary romance books, but with a lot of feelings as well. I've cried over 2 of her books so far. I'm in the middle of another one and I'm probably going to cry at that. The only one I haven't liked is The Switch. So this one, The Wake Up Call, is about 2 sworn enemies who are trying to save a hotel. I'm going to read it probably right away because I'm kind of in the mood for crying. Scenes of the Crime. This one is another locked room mystery thriller book, so I'm not going to read the whole synopsis. The rating is quite low on Goodreads at the moment. It's only 3.2, so I don't know if it's absolutely awful, but it's one that I might give a go depending on if the reviews get better. Thieves Gambit. This one is kind of like the Inheritance games, I think, meets Ocean 11. It's a YA heist thriller and I'm really into those at the moment, so I'm looking forward to reading this one at some point soon. The Only Girl in Town. This one is by the author of Matched, which is a really old YA dystopian series, which I think I DNF'd partway through the first book because it was awful. But this is her, I think, YA thriller debut. I might not read this one, but I just wanted to put it on people's radars in case everyone was waiting for an Ali Condé comeback or something. I have no idea what it's about. People disappearing from town, probably. Don't Forget to Write is a historical fiction book. It says here that Marilyn is caught making out with the rabbi's son in front of the whole congregation, so her parents ship her off to her great aunt Ada for the summer. Something about a matchmaker, summer unfolding. I think this one sounds like a really good summer read, and it's a shame that it's coming out in September because I probably would have read this back in like June or July or something when it was warm here. The River We Remember. This one is historical fiction. This author always seems to write historical fiction. I don't think he's done anything else. This is set in the 1950s in Minnesota. One of the citizens of the small town is murdered, and then a ton of grievances come about. I've heard really good things about this author, and his books are really highly rated on Goodreads. I only own one of his so far, which is called This Tender Land, so I'm going to give that a go at some point, and then I'll decide if I want to get to this, but I thought I'd mention it because people seem to like him. Hemlock Island by Kelly Armstrong. This is about a woman who has inherited a holiday home, or she bought one when she had more money, and now the only way that she can keep it is by renting it out to strangers. Because she is renting it out, she can't really control who moves in. I mean, she can look into their backgrounds and stuff, but you know, you never know what people are going to do. And then creepy things start happening, like there are bloody bones and hex circles. I really like Kelly Armstrong's writing. This is a standalone by her, and I'm gonna check this out around Halloween, I think, because it sounds really good, and I hope my library picks it up because I really want to get it from the library. The River Runs South. This is another debut book. I'm not really sure what this one's about, apart from the tagline mentioning something about nostalgia and Sweet Home Alabama, so I imagine it's set in the South, which is why it talks about the river running there. And there's probably small town drama, which I really enjoy. Suddenly a Murder. I love the title of this one, and I also really like the cover as well. So this one is a YA mystery thriller. There are 7 friends who are throwing a 1920s themed murder mystery party, and then one of them is murdered. That's all I need to know. I think it sounds great. Foul Hearts Huntsman. I haven't read the first book, Foul Lady Fortune, in this series. It's by Chloe Gong. Everyone loves her, so I thought I'd put it on the list in case you didn't know this was coming out in September. It is. It's coming out on the 26th, so towards the end of the month. And then we've got a bit of a weird one. We have 19 Steps by Millie Bobby Brown, which is the actress, and I'm not sure if she's written this book herself. This seems to be a historical fiction romance written by her, which is inspired by her family's true events in World War II. I kind of want to read it to see what it's like, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm very skeptical about it being any good. I imagine it's ghostwritten, but I don't know that for certain. Let me know if you want me to do a reading blog for this book, because I will give it a go. To Die For. This one is a thriller book set around the world of real estate in America, and I think real estate agents work for commission or something, so everyone's competing to sell the best houses, and that's all I know. It sounds like a lot of rich people drama, which I always enjoy, so I'm going to give this one a go. Murder in the Family. This one, it says, is about a cold case, a fictional true crime series, and the family caught in the middle. There are 6 episodes and 1 killer. I really enjoy true crime drama stuff that's coming out recently, fiction obviously, so I'm really looking forward to giving this one a go. This one's actually quite high on my list. And then we have Bright Young Women. This one is a historical thriller, I think. It says here that it's set in 1978. A serial killer has terrorized women across the Pacific Northwest, and then there's also something about a sorority in Tallahassee in Florida. I don't know loads about it. I'm not reading the synopsis because it's a thriller, but I think this is going to be quite popular because it's already shelved a lot on Goodreads, and it's by the author of Luckiest Girl Alive, which I already know is quite popular, so I'm gonna give this one a go. I think closer to Halloween. I'm gonna see if my library picks it up, and then I can give it a go. And then finally, the one that I think everyone is looking forward to is The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. This is the spin-off to A Darker Shade of Magic. I haven't read the final book in A Darker Shade of Magic yet, which is called A Conjuring of Light, so I need to read that in September, and then I will be getting my hands on this one if I enjoy the ending. I don't really want to read the synopsis for this because I haven't read that one yet, so I don't want to know where all the characters end up, but I really like this cover, and I'm really excited that she is diving back into this world. I do wonder how they're going to work with all of the different Londons, like in the first series, if they're even still a thing, I don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one, even though I haven't read the last book in the last trilogy. So those are all of my most anticipated September new releases. Let me know which ones you're looking forward to in the comments below, or if you've already read any of them. Like I said, if you like this video concept, please like this video and leave a comment because it really does help my channel, and these videos do take a lot of work, so it's really good to know that you enjoy them and that you find them quite informative, even though I don't really go into loads of detail in synopses because I've got so many books to talk about. So thank you again for watching. I will speak to you all in the next video. Bye!